That's wild.
Oh, let's see here.
Did you guys accept it?
I did. My audio's in there. Hello, internet. I'm not sure if you're watching.
Oh
but...
shit, I'm in the motherless board.
Fucking what?
Fucking what? Alright. Alright, here. Great, now my enemies are stronger because fucking Sparks joined us.
Able to join. Wonderful.
Why are you unable to join?
I don't know. It kicked me out like twice. Let's see if it works the third time. I have level 22.
You don't have any low-level characters, do you?
I don't know. I can check to see what Claptrap is, I guess.
Well, the Claptrap are all pretty the same.
My Claptrap's 22.
I'm 25. We could level you.
I think this could be fine. I don't know. I'm surprised you guys are playing this too. Well, I knew Sparks would. I'm surprised you are, Jake.
Dude, like we told you when we beat the game, Sparks and I put in a lot of work in this for a while. We were playing this for a long time.
So you and Sparks for the pre-sequel, and me and Sparks for Borderlands 2.
Yeah. I have like gaming.
Oh fuck, done.
My problem is I have like gaming ADD, where I'm like, I get into a game for a while, and then I'm like, ooh, this is shiny and new, and then I'll go play that for a while.
Yeah, I know. This is the guy with the next Far Cry expansion. I get it.
Hey.
Like it, love it. Gotta have it.
Another. I was just like I was looking at the Xbox Game Pass games they were adding. I had mentioned Void Bastards, but there's another game coming out called Outer Wilds that's coming straight to Game Pass day of release. I like that they're putting indie titles day of release on Game Pass. I like that because normally I would just I don't think I'd play those games just because nobody really talks about them very much. So it's cool that they did that.
Well, hopefully we can get a bunch of shills to shut up about how awful.
Excuse me.
How awful Crackdown 3 is.
That is the definition of a Game Pass game.
It's a fun experience. You know, nothing revolutionary, but.
Alright, everybody's audio is here. We're all in the game. Let's go.
Looking at my butt, Claptrap. I fucking see you.
What was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought.
We're talking about that indie game on Game Pass.
Well, yeah, I'm excited about that, but I'm also, yeah, I wish they would do more of that, more of the indie games going day of release. I mean, it sucks that you're not giving them money, but at the same time, it's like I'm sure Microsoft gave them a good amount of money to put it on Game Pass, so I think they'll be all right.
What happened to you?
I got hit by something.
Oh, I'm where'd you go?
Sparks just left us.
Well, something either happened or like we're about to get a notification that he's left the party. We can't have this happen 2 episodes in a row.
My connection to the host was lost.
That's weird.
I'll invite you back.
Weird.
You wouldn't. I swear technology is the bane of my existence.
Yeah, well, I got a bone to pick with, well, not really a bone to pick, just really annoyed. The thing that was happening to your controller earlier happened to mine, where like brand new batteries wouldn't be.
Oh boy.
You know, the controller just wouldn't work.
Yeah. I don't know. That was it just kept shorting out. So you don't have those problems on PlayStation. Kidding.
We have a thing called integrity.
No, PlayStation controller.
Comes with
The battery life on those things.
yours already comes with a rechargeable pack.
Well, I think maybe it's the light bar on it. I don't know. The useless light bar, but the battery life on those are not very good.
Oh, now you're both down. Wonderful.
Don't worry, well,
Shit. Sorry.
Chance
I didn't realize you were that much slower.
I'm gonna die. Thanks
good.
a lot, dude.
You're not. I can be your hero, baby.
You
can take away
with the pain. You can take my breath away.
yeah,
Classic.
My battery pack is aftermarket anyways, so.
Yeah, I have a rechargeable pack on my Xbox. Chance, it's your turn to cough. Alright, now you can talk. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that like there's good aspects to the PS4 and Xbox One controllers. The fact that you can just charge up a PS4 controller so easily is nice. And the way like the newer controllers for the One are like have that sweet grip on the back of them is very nice.
Yeah. I prefer the Xbox controller over the PlayStation controller. I think the light bar and the touchpad are just useless gimmicks that nobody uses.
Yeah. I know, like, my roommate in college, I doubt he's listening to this, but like he was playing some game and like you had to like use a spray can, and like
It's
like,
infamous
you could grab
Second Son.
That might be it.
Yeah.
But like, just grab the controller and then shake it like a paint can. It'll do that little vibration thing. I'm like, that's cool, I guess.
The best use, I think, of the motion control of the PS4 was Until Dawn, because they actually like put it into the story. So like you're hiding from these monsters, and you have to let go of the like you can't touch the controller. And there's like aspects where you have to move the controller and things like that. And that was actually a cool use of the motion gimmick. Good game.
Yeah.
Big fan. Saved all the people.
Yeah.
I was pretty proud of myself.
Yeah. Hey.
Oh.
This makes me wonder what like as the next generation rolls in, these consoles are just going to get similar and similar to the point where the only discernible difference is the exclusives. Oh god, I fell.
Especially when Xbox and Sony or Microsoft and Sony team up.
Just
I
stop.
mean, I hope they team up.
Just
that'd be
stop
really fun.
Google.
Yes, stop the Acadia or no, Stadia, not Acadia.
Yeah.
The Stadia.
Stop the
Acadia.
Stop the GMC corporate takeover.
Well, I honestly think that this generation will be the last. This new generation. I fell off again.
Like the last generation of consoles.
Yeah, I think so. The way that Sony presented the PS5, this is. I think this is going to be the end. God damn it!
I think maybe the end for home consoles. Nintendo's still going to release their portables and
Yeah.
Everything else.
At least consoles as we know it, I think it's going to be different.
Ow.
Because they're looking. They're still going to have like on-disc stuff. They're still going to have your traditional things. The PS5 will, but clearly Microsoft and Sony are going in a streaming direction as well to compete with Google. And I don't know how I feel about it. I like the idea that you have similar things where it still has on-disc stuff, still has downloadable stuff, but they're not fully committing to streaming, so I appreciate that. But I think this is the end, and I think that they're smart. What they would do is, I don't think we're gonna have hardware anymore, but we're gonna have software, constant software updates and firmware updates.
Okay,
And
okay.
I'm okay with that.
Oh, go ahead. So
No,
I just kind of had a little thought. What if consoles, maybe this generation or the next one or the one after that, basically become discount PCs that you can put in like your entertainment center, where like components can be easily replaced or upgraded whenever you want.
Like a Google Drive, or like...
Well, like just basically a pretty much a PC. Like, you want more storage, you want more RAM, this, that, or the other thing. It's just still labeled an Xbox or a PlayStation.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I just think it's just... I think the way they're looking at it is, with like anything streaming or digital, I think it's just cost effective to stop making hardware and ditch the plastic stuff.
Yeah. Oh my god.
What do you think, Sparks? Sparks doesn't want the digital revolution to happen.
Digital's the devil.
All you want. I don't think it's the answer. I don't think it's ever going to be the end-all be-all.
I mean, clearly they're still not 100% on board because they still have on-disc shit. So they still have disc drives, unless you're by a SAD. Oh man, you talk about a missed opportunity. Well, I mean, it's pretty much, it doesn't have a disc drive, so it'll be cheaper. Just kidding, it's gonna be pretty much the same price as a regular Xbox.
See, I'd say keep the disc drive around just for like other physical media.
Yeah, like for like
Blu-rays,
watch a movie or
DVDs.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Not even that. I mean, it's just on its own. I don't ever really think it's ever going to hit that point where it's a full replacement.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen for anything. I think people still like physical. They like to have something in their hand. Like, I don't think, people thought when iPads and Kindles and Nooks were a thing, like, well, they still are, but like when they first became a thing, people were like, oh, this is the end of books and everything in libraries, and no, people still like having physical books to read.
Oh,
I still like to have Blu-rays on my shelf.
Yeah. To the time of the tablet is come and gone. Like, they're not gone, but like definitely less prevalent.
No, I disagree. I think it's still got its uses, especially with digital distribution things, especially
Well, like they still have their
books.
uses, but they're not nearly as big. I don't know. I've noticed anyway.
Yeah, I don't. It's a weird thing, because I feel like tablets are just kind of like phones now. They're just part of our lives now. It's just we're just used to them. And
Yeah, there's not a big hooping.
I mean, I never would really use. The only thing I would use a tablet for is to read comic books.
That's
Like,
true.
Yeah, because that's the only thing I ever use it for is when I buy
But
comics.
they're also, implementing them in classrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And-
had one from sophomore year all the way to senior year.
That's like the equivalent of when we first started having like this cabinet full of Macs in my junior high, and we were like, "This is the coolest thing!" And all we would do is dick around on GarageBand. We'd play Flash games and dick around on GarageBand. That's all we would do.
Like cool math games every single day.
Fucking Newgrounds, dude. You better recognize.
Better respect.
It's so funny. I was talking to Ashley about that the other day. That's such a weird thing that only like millennials remember is websites with these stupid Flash games.
Yeah, how about E-Bombs World?
That's before me, man. I didn't have internet to have E-Bombs World.
I did.
Any of you like around for like when like the first Balloon Tower Defense popped up?
Oh yeah.
Like,
Fuck, I remember when
I have such fond memories though. Like I got like Balloon Tower. I paid for it to get it on my phone. Balloon Tower Defense 6.
It's just like the Flash games and things like that. That just reminds me of like when YouTube wasn't really a thing. It was just it was like
Thing to put your little videos on.
Yeah, like early days of YouTube were like what Vine was, where it was like just a bunch of random stupid videos, and then eventually people were like, we can make money off this thing. And the rest is history. Now YouTube is just awful.
Now it's history.
I don't understand
unboxing videos and
I don't understand for something like a website that was like all about this is the new media, this is how we do things, why it continues to run like it's a TV station or something. And I get it, and I'm gonna fall off this thing. And I get it.
Well,
you have to, play ball with advertisers. I totally understand that, but I mean,
you're just gonna.
You're just censoring your creators.
Yeah, well, so like I was talking, I'm not sure if the Box Office Bros funded on my profile on Facebook or Twitter. We were talking about how there really needs to be a challenger to YouTube.
Oh yeah, there does.
there have been.
Okay, one that stays because just chasing away content creators for being who
YouTube
they
has
are.
actually gotten so powerful, they buy out their competition.
Which is why I've said for a while now that the government needs to step in and break up Amazon and Google and these big tech companies, because they're gonna and even I would even say they need to break up Disney, because this is getting ridiculous. I know that Disney isn't related to that because Disney's a different thing, but it's a similar idea where, like, yeah, they keep just buying up these things. And YouTube is so big, nobody cares about Dailymotion or Vimeo or where, I don't even know how to fucking say it. Vimeo, yeah.
Vimeo, yeah.
Anyway, what were you saying, Chance?
Oh, I was gonna say, like, I like what Disney's doing in the sense of the entertainment I'm going to get, but, like, corporate debauchery is pretty troubling. I guess if I would piece some stuff off of Disney just to make it a little less menacing, like maybe, I don't know, chip off ESPN from the mouse or something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't have Bachelor ads while I'm trying to watch college football.
You don't want to play Bachelor Fantasy League?
No.
Ashley
If
told
you-
me
if you start
that
a
she would
league-
kick my ass in Bachelor Fantasy League. She's not wrong.
If you start a league, I'm going to drive to Des Moines and hit you. Say nothing and then just go back home.
Chance, it's just another way to just to feed a gambling addiction that I don't have.
Well, see, the thing about our gambling addiction is we just had pride on our fantasy league.
Yeah, that's all it is. Because I'm too cheap to actually put money into it. Anyway, back to YouTube.
Well, and I was stupid enough to. Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, I talked about that on the Jake Williams show a while ago too. I agree with you that there needs to be a legitimate competitor to YouTube, because that'll actually force YouTube to change and get back to the way they were, to actually be a fun platform.
See, this is what
everybody.
This is what Kurt Warner should be spending his money on, a challenger to YouTube, not the NFL. How's that reference for you, Internet?
Sound like nothing.
My big take, my thing that annoyed me that I saw, and I've noticed that Angry Joe does this a lot with his videos, where he intentionally beeps out when he cusses in his videos for like the first minute and then he stops, because they were told by someone from YouTube that if you cuss in your first 30 seconds of your video, you're going to get demonetized, because advertisers don't want that. After that 30 seconds, you can cuss all you want. Which I'm like, okay, that's a rule, I guess, but I still think it's a silly rule, because it's just like, what that also says that advertisers don't actually watch your content.
It's a rule because it's like worrying about radio programming. It's time spent listening. 30 seconds is that margin in which you can either hook somebody or you lose them.
Yeah, but a lot of these people, like, to get advertising like that, you have to have a certain amount of subscribers, and that number, those people are going to be there longer than 30 seconds because they're like diehard fans. They actually like your content. So I get.
Yeah,
I
what
understand
happens when the casuals come across the video.
Right, and I understand that aspect of it. I get where you're coming from there, because yeah, what if somebody that's never watched it before watches it, and the first thing that comes out of your mouth is like, well, fuck this, and then you're like, oh, this is appalling. I would never. I'm out.
Well, not even that. I mean, think about parents with kids when they come across it.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Because
the idea here is the advertisers don't want that to happen, because then they're loosely associated with lewd programming, which could lead the consumer to think negatively of them.
Yeah. And I understand that aspect of it. I mean, that, like I said, it's a rule. It doesn't really annoy me as much, but it's just like, it just makes you think in your head, well, I can't say anything bad for now. I can say it. Fuck. We're past 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But yeah, and they've just been, I mean, there's other aspects where they've been terrible with demonetization, with like, oh, he said gun in what he said, we have to demonetize it because the word gun's there. I mean, it could honestly be about how to safely and properly operate a gun. But it's gun, so we gotta demonetize it. You know, and whether you like people or not, I do think conservatives don't get a fair shake when it comes to YouTube and Twitter and things like that. There's Silicon Valley does have an obvious liberal lean to them.
Was that because they decided that their lean here is to go out and unilaterally attack a lot of the time?
Well, here's what I think of it. I don't agree with a lot of these conservatives. I don't agree with anything they say. But I also don't believe, and granted, these are private companies. They can do whatever the hell they want. So they're well within their rights to do whatever they want and censor these people. But at the same time, I think it's silly to censor people in a way that, shouldn't you let them talk and let them sunlight is the best disinfectant kind of thing, and let them show you how crazy they are and how silly they are. And yes, you could bring up the argument of the ping pong pizza shooter because of what Alex Jones said. I understand that, but you can't dictate everything that people say based on what I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's a weird area.
The problem is there isn't enough crazy people that once they hear something, to get in their head, there's a cult-like following that can form. Whether or not Alex Jones is a character played or, in fact, this crazy person, there are people who take what he says seriously. And they act on those impulses.
Yeah, but I mean, couldn't you say the same thing about anybody? I mean, you could say that about. I mean, granted, they're not as extreme because they're not fucking Alex Jones, but I mean, you could probably say that about anybody. And
Sure.
and
To a lesser
yes,
degree.
words have consequences, actions have consequences, but I don't know. That's the thing. You got to draw the line, and what do you think would be right and what wouldn't. I just think that, to me, I am someone that's free speech all the way. So I would still have Alex Jones. I go back and forth on this because part of me completely understands what you're saying. Where people like Alex Jones can be dangerous when somebody shoots up a fucking pizza place because they think in the basement is a pedophile ring when there isn't. But I also think, well, shouldn't we educate people enough to be like Alex Jones is a fucking psychopath?
Yeah, might
Yeah,
think,
but that's what the leftists do, and they get attacked on the flip side. At the same time as it, when somebody starts wielding words as weapons, there's a degree that you need to be able to take things.
Yeah.
I think with Alex Jones, though, he is going after real people where, he can dog on Hillary Clinton all the live long day. She's still a former first lady with a Secret Service detail. But when you go after, like, people who, their second grade son, or their first grade, second grade year was, killed in their school, and then you just go and attack them, and then, your followers get their address,
Oh, shit.
and they have to move 6 times since 2012.
Yeah.
That's dangerous, and, like, free speech has been suppressed before, and, like, I'd say that almost kind of counts as, like, inciting panic or stuff. Like, that's when, like, free speech becomes very blurry, I guess.
Damn it.
Yeah,
Look at the last 20 minutes jumping around this place trying to figure out where to go, and it was right here.
Where?
Right here.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
Stay there. Don't move.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's not. That's the problem. It's not a cut and dry answer. There's so much more to it, and there's so many layers to it. I just think.
To wit, I mean, you want to go on against railing against YouTube, but look at the amount of ultra-conservative Republican talk show hosts there are on the radio. Why can't we even that out?
No one wants to hear him.
Well, it's demographics. That's what it boils down to. Genuinely. Am I using the right word here? Generally, that's the word, not general. Genuinely.
Yeah.
Generally.
A hazard.
Generally, progressives are younger. So, how that gets to millennials and younger people, it's through podcasts, it's through YouTube, it's through the new media. Whereas somebody like Rush Limbaugh,
Rachel Maddow,
or like Laura Ingraham or Sean Hannity or those kind of people, they go to radio because that's where boomers are, and that's older demographic. Like a news talk station, their demographic is usually 35 to 64. So that's where I think that's what it is. And I do think I agree with you there as well. I do think there needs to be more progressive radio show hosts, and they exist, but they're not nearly as big. They didn't build as big as empire as, say, a Rush Limbaugh.
See, if these people were more like, instead of like Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, Alex Jones, and they were closer to, say, Chris Wallace, this wouldn't be as near a big issue.
Yeah. I exactly.
Like, Chris Wallace works for Fox News, but I respect Chris Wallace.
Because he's an actual journalist.
Yeah.
He actually holds these people's feet to the fire. And yeah, I agree. And that's the thing, is I know it's easy to rail against YouTube, but I do think it's a really hard thing to be like the biggest video hosting website on the planet. I mean, like we've talked about it.
Yeah. I don't know, and the thing is about YouTube, it's like for, I don't know, Gerber baby food, but like, you know that manscaping razor, like whatever it's called, like nothing sucks more than nicking your balls. Have you seen that?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Like, I feel like that would be pretty acceptable on the most, you know, cursing heavy, you know, YouTube commentary that YouTube has.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's the thing.
The
is like
manscaping razor would be.
that's the thing that I don't understand too. Is like, those are really funny. Manscaped, I think is. One of their ads, because they do shampoo now, I think, or it might be a different company, but one of them was like, your bar soap is a piece of shit, but they beep out shit, but it's still funny. But yeah, those are really good, and I agree. There's nothing wrong with them, but I don't know. There needs to be an alternative. There needs to be a marketplace for opposing ideas, even if they are crazy radical like Alex Jones or something like that. I still think they deserve the right to have that voice just as much as
again,
I do.
Yeah, but it's the same time as like
Where'd you go?
They have a right to refuse someone on a platform who's doing terrible things. You know?
Stop dying.
It's like, you know, websites have terms and conditions, and you know.
Mhm. Yeah, right. You have terms of service. Yeah. God, what the fuck? Why are we in this area?
Well, it's called. Well, because you're in your level.
Shut your mouth. Anyway, what was the point you were gonna make?
Oh, me?
Sparks. He started to say something.
Oh, Sparks.
He said it's because you're in your level.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something before that.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, you derailed the conversation, not me. That was on you.
Well, look at you extending blame.
I never do that. I stand up for my mistakes.
I'll gladly stand up next to you.
To defend her still today. Because God knows I love this thing. God bless the USA.
The USA.
As I get older, the more I realize that, honestly, I'm having the most fun the most fun I ever have on social media is on Instagram. Because Instagram, I don't have to deal with all the shitty, stupid politics that are on Facebook and Twitter. Instagram, I can just look at silly photos or fun photos. Or whatever.
You could get away with that on Reddit if you're careful.
Reddit, yeah, if you follow the right subreddits, you won't ever have to deal with that shit. But, yeah. And for the most part,
like if you just look at...
I enjoy Reddit. I love Reddit. But I also follow...
There are aspects of Reddit that I enjoy, like Trumpcrat. I love that.
Nothing tops prequel memes, dude.
It actually comforts me to know that they're actually Trump supporters or ex-Trump supporters who actually regret their decision.
It's nice to know. I have a friend that's a Trump supporter that has buyer's remorse, and it's nice to know. It's nice to know. I mean, it's kind of shitty because he's currently our president, but you know, it's nice to know that people came to their senses.
To know someone's thinking about me in our time of need.
And look, I still have people that are in my life that are friends that are Trump supporters, and that's fine. It's just there's just nothing about that guy.
Trump supporters.
Yeah, there's just nothing about that guy that makes me like him.
See, the thing is that objections were never his politics, even though his politics are horrible.
What's his
He
personality?
was a
more than
bad
anything else.
person.
Mm-hmm. He's a blatant liar.
Like, knowing who he is as a person is just automatic for me.
He's a blatant liar, and he's running this country as a cult of personality. Like, I'm sorry, his followers are cultists. Like, it's ridiculous.
Personally, I love the string of obstruction of justice that's actually going on right now, where he's telling his AG or he's telling Barr.
Yeah, that's his AG.
His AG. Are you bullshitting me?
Yeah.
And he's telling his AG to investigate the investigation into him.
And then, well, here's the
Dude,
thing that
like-
makes me laugh the most about it is, or not necessarily laugh, maybe cry, but here's the thing that drives me crazy about this. People forget Barr was in charge of cover-ups before. That's his specialty. Is he covers things up, and
Yeah, but he
just
did a real bad job covering up the Mueller report.
no collusion, no
Not
obstruction.
even close.
The best part of that was him in his summary literally ignoring what Mueller says. He says there's no collusion, but it does not exonerate the president. AKA,
That's
yeah,
what it
we
means.
didn't get him on this, but he did some shady shit.
My goodness. Someone...
Damn it! Alright, as I was about to save it.
It's okay.
And that's the, I think, to me, the
Except-
I think the most annoying thing about this is I understand where people are coming from. I understand that they still want repercussions for this, and I think in due time it will happen. But as of right now, Democrats need to focus on the election. And they need to focus on winning, and not because they're the more they pursue this. I honestly feel the more they pursue this, the more they go after this, they're going to lose voters. They're going to lose people. People are going to lose interest. People are not going to care, and Trump's going to get reelected.
Well, I didn't love that. It's like, if we, historically speaking, if the DNC hadn't A, fucked over Bernie as hard as it did, or B, not fuck him over at all and actually let him win, I strongly believe that the Hillary voters would have done with Bernie anyways to stop Trump. But since the way that things went down, the Bernie Sanders weren't going to go help.
Yeah, anybody that was most of the people that were going to vote for Bernie voted for Trump.
Yeah.
Or not at all, or for third party.
Or,
Harambe.
Fucking dead gorilla.
At that point, they couldn't give a shit less. They weren't voting for Hillary, and they weren't voting.
Ever meet one of those people? They're getting pushed into a deep ravine.
Yeah, I know. What a bunch of morons.
Full of gorillas.
Bye, Sparks.
Chancey, your internet sucks.
Does not.
It does.
I'm not the host, though.
I'm not.
Oh, fuck. It's Jake.
How did you get dropped again? Chance is fine. I'm fine. How'd you get dropped? I
I
blame
couldn't even begin to tell you.
I blame Gearbox and their shitty infrastructure.
Honestly, it's just as well. I need to get to bed.
Aw, man, we were having such a good episode.
Yeah,
I mean, we can
5 in the
continue.
morning.
Content. This one can't end as well as the other one did. I'm disappointed.
No, it can't. I don't like.
Well, we'll just have to have an even better episode on Saturday or Sunday.
Something's gotta happen. Someone's gonna have to die. That's all I'm gonna say. It's not a threat.
It's like,
I'm just saying don't rule it out.
shit. What else?
Alright. That's it. I'm out.
Oh, well. Damn it.
Alright, guys. I'll see you this weekend. Maybe before then. In the meantime,
Yeah.
like us on the social medias, Underachievers Games.
Oh, social medias. Wow.
Game on. We love you. And good night.
You follow Chancey at his other podcast, Jake at his other podcast.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
Sparks, don't even fucking bother.
Box Office Bros is Chance's podcast.
Well, funny thing about Box Office Bros,
They're splitting up.
no, not at all.
It's going on hiatus.
Oh, no, shut up.
They're getting married.
I mean, maybe, but who knows? Still hung up on Jake. But, Jake, you had asked me if we wanted to be on the Jake Williams show, right?
Yes.
Corey is down. We can.
Maury.
We'll just set it up and we can be on each other's podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy.
Titties.
No one's. Are you still broadcasting?
Yeah.
Yes.
No one's gonna understand that.
But we
We'll just
will.
look creepy, and the one person who will understand that will never listen to this.
Goodbye.
Bye.